For the longest time, I thought that somebody like Goggins was kind of crazy in the sense of he's like, you can go, you can go, you can go, you can go, no rest. You can keep it moving, kind of the military type training. And I'd gotten away from that because my relationship with sleep that I had while I was in college, and my relationship with sleep not being that well, it's probably true that you need sleep, right? There's a delineation I think that you have to make here, right? You need sleep, but by the same token, do you need rest? Do you need to take days off? I'm starting to think not necessarily, not complete days where you don't do anything. I think that you need to be doing something every day, and you need to be doing something that pushes you closer to your goal every single day, 7 days a week, regardless of what it is. And I think that there are lots of different things that you could do on any day of the week that could push you towards your goal. For instance, stretching, or just active recovery, or and things of this nature, where you're not going to the gym and necessarily lifting a bunch of weights, or trying to get your work on your legs and things of that nature. I think that there are other ways to work the problem, and I think I really got to sit back and examine on how I'm going to do that and constructively, because a guy was telling me that, oh, you can't throw every day. If you throw every day, and I took a lot of throws the last week, more volume than I had taken in a very, very long time. I took somewhere between 30 and 40 throws on multiple days a week, and I was thinking that, oh, I should relax. But by the same token, yes, I should take it easy, especially with the intensity. But does that mean that I don't go throw? No, I think that I find the temperament and I find the intensity that I throw with on any given day, instead of saying, no, I'm not going to go throw. And that could include even throwing a lighter ball. A lighter ball would be a change up. I did that one day on this cycle, and it didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. However, I'm still going to go back to that, because I feel as if this last week, when I took a day off, and then I ended up taking another day off, and that just wasn't productive at the end of the day. So I'm kind of looking at the big picture here, and the bigger concept is I'm not going to blow. I don't think that me throwing a lot, or me throwing a high volume, is going to hurt me. I think that I'm just going to have to pay attention to what stresses that you're putting on your body when you are doing that, and how to recover from it, and besides getting 8 hours of sleep, how to recover from that. Because I don't see, this wasn't a bad practice, but I don't see how you make strides and how you make big gains in the throwing world with doing what everybody else does. And everybody else throws 4 or 5 days a week, probably more than likely. Sometimes they have 2 days, depending on your collegiate schedule. Sometimes you have 2 days or whatever. You throw 3 days a week. You get your reps in. Just depends on your schedule. But for me to think outside of the box, and for me to make strides, I'm going to have to do what everybody else is not doing. And I think that is going to encompass me putting in as many reps during the week, and on compounding continuously during the weeks as possible. And I haven't come to this conclusion very easily. I've not come to this conclusion very easily. It's taken me a long time, because I did believe I had a program from a throwing coach that said, oh, you don't need to do any more or less than this. And yeah, I mean, maybe if I want to fucking suck, maybe if I just want to be mediocre or what have you, like the very confined, he said, follow this to a T, don't add or subtract anything from this. No, like, and especially if you're feeling good, do more. If you're not feeling good, do less, or do something that's going to make you feel better the next day. I think that our thinking about this has to completely change in order to really push the envelope, in order for anybody to push the envelope. No, I don't think that a runner, a sprinter, or a distance runner, I don't think that they should run every day. But I think that there's a lot of things that go on in distance running, such as with the knees, with the hips. I think that there's a lot of other things that should be worked on in a continuous manner, that might be worked on an off day of running, for instance. So a lot of things to take into consideration, and I've worked through this for a long time, and I didn't want to be full blown that this was what I was going to do, but I didn't like what I saw today. I didn't like it. I feel like some of the progress that I had made was stagnated. I don't think that I got worse per se. I think that a lot of the cues that I think about and a lot of the ideas that I have as far as movement with the ball, they've stayed succinct, they've stayed in my brain. But by the same token, having the continuous thought pattern and doing it and thinking about it every day and reviewing throws and constantly going at it and going at it and going at it, I think that's very until I get to a point where it's time for me to take a step back and, I don't know, maybe prepare for a competition or something of that nature, or even just actually take a break. I don't think that I'm need to be even having that conversation, because the time is now. The time is I'm nowhere near anywhere I can take a step back and kind of look at other things or what have you, or other goals that I want to achieve. For instance, such as I like there's running, like my mile time or whatever, things to that nature or whatever. I would like to focus on at some point in time, but in order to get good at this, you got to focus on doing this. And we're leading up to the season here now, and it's going to take more energy and more focus and me thinking more specifically about what's going to be the best input for the best output, and what lifting movements are going to be the best input for the right output. Another thing that I'm thinking about on my mind is the conventional ways that we do this, the squat, the deadlift, the bench press. I don't think that that's how you do the hammer. I don't think that's how you do the throws. I don't even think that that's how you do football. I don't think that's how you do sprint training or any of these trainings. I think that we haven't gotten creative enough. And I was watching a podcast about this. I really don't, and I tend to agree with them. I mean, we've done squats and this and that or whatever, and I don't think that we've gotten to the specific root of the problem in order to push the envelope with the throws. And the shot put record was broken recently or what have you, but the discus record and the hammer record, for instance, I don't think it's been touched in the hammer I know for 30 years. So I think that we can get more specific and more creative instead of doing the conventional, the squats. And I don't see it now. I don't see that being the thing that like a 600-pound squat being the thing that puts you over 80 meters. I don't think that that's what makes an 80-meter man. Definitely doesn't make a fast sprinter. It doesn't. So lots of things I'm taking into consideration right now and just thinking about in the back of my mind. But the biggest thing is you got to go. You got to go, and you got to go every single day. You got to go until you not get denied. And there's another quote from a podcast that I watch, and he said that they would throw until they couldn't miss, is what he said. So I'm kind of having that mentality now, is that you throw until you perfect, until you're throwing the best technique, the getting the best acceleration on the ball, and you're doing it over and over and over again. So just some ideas. Think it's going to be few and far days off that I'm going to take now after this kind of situation here. So things to consider, but that's just about all I got, guys. You already know what the deal is. Run on your toes, keep your mouth closed, lock your doors, and save your throws, and most importantly, you lit a fight another day. I'm going to get out of here.